Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Sham Shalabim, welcome. How you doing? It's been a while. And Zen, what's going on, man? Viewing from the South Tyneside coastline by the beach. Can't hear a thing. Okay, oh well. Good afternoon to you. I don't know where South Townside is. South Tyneside? No idea. But welcome in, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna jump in and we're gonna get not quite painting, but we're gonna do some transfers real quick. So here's what I have at the moment with washes, and you can see where this red paint is bleeding through by Newcastle, UK. Okay, cool. So it's in the UK. I don't know where Newcastle is. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's bleeding through, but that's okay. We'll dry brush it. It'll be fine. So we have a lot of work to do, but I'm putting transfers on first because they need to dry before I do other stuff. So I have 7 transfers kind of cut out, ready to put on, and we're gonna work on those. I got my Mark Fit here. Such a little. Really? How much did that one building take? I never looked up. Maybe I did, but it was a long time ago when I did. But I don't remember looking up how much that took. The new Cheeto box doesn't have a good way of telling you how much resin prints take, which I really don't like. It's kind of frustrating. It'll tell you, if you dig, it'll tell you how many grams of resin it takes to print your whatever you're making, the build plate. But then you have to do the math yourself. It doesn't do the math for you. Walk done. Time to pick up the kids. All right, Sham Shalabim, welcome in, and thank you for hanging out. Have a good one. Okay. So, I think, if we prop this just a little bit, this might work. There's no good way of getting a view here, guys. I'm sorry. Sliding that too wide. Oh, that is too wide. Okay, let's put you back in there. We'll do this other one right there. Our little snake. Just missed too much. Dundersnuff, how are you doing? How you been? Welcome back. Hopefully it's been good stuff. Busy? Yeah. Not bad busy, hopefully good busy. I don't know. Quishy, what's going on? AFK, that's okay. It happens. I understand. Sometimes people are doing other things and it doesn't bother me. You kids got real life going on. Yo Raptor, welcome. Crowd, I'm honestly wondering where my draw is. Okay, put that down. That's the real question. All right. Just something like that. Let's do a couple things real quick first. Get all these little sunbursts into the water and soaking. Next we'll absorb. And blah, nothing gives me joy. I'm sorry to hear that. These are at least manageable, yeah. Yeah, so this week Painting Wife and Painting Son are on spring break, but then it just happens to be like the busiest week I've had in a while. Trying to get things done. We're in a Lizardman team. Nice. Wait, what, Zen? What are you talking about? What runes? Oh, you're saying this this transfer right here? It's yeah. Nasir has his copper quality, yeah. Dude's never gonna live it down. Literally never going to live it down. Okay, letting these transfers go. It's these 700 grams for that whole building. Yeah, that's solid. That's, you know, I was wondering that because a lot of those ruins that you printed for me are like really thick walls, and you have to infill, right? And so like the infill is like really, I guess, a minor percentage, but I figured these would be, you know, looking at these, it's like you're printing individual walls that don't seem quite as thick, and you're not filling in like a whole bubble like the pyramid, right? So yeah, maybe that's pretty decent. How's everybody's week been? Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. This house is crazy. We currently have my son had a friend stay overnight. He's still here. So walls themselves, or the walls of the print? The walls themselves, yeah. I guess the, you know, like the L-shaped ruin kind of prints, and then you have like the pyramid temple that you printed for me. That's like, oh, you just have to like infill that whole thing. And this one, I don't know. Like maybe it's a little easier. Yeah, less because of that. There's just like, it's all empty on the inside. They're thick. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool, Zen. That's totally cool. I'll assemble them. So, Zen's printing me some terrain. More terrain. I don't know, did I show you guys the terrain I painted? Did I show that on Sunday? This stuff? Hold up. My little Rohan house. Look at this. This was like an hour and a half of painting. I was really proud of this, honestly. Tuvan, welcome in. So, and I even did like, you know, a little gold on the door frame, and this I actually used the speed paint, Army Painter speed paint, the Hoplite Gold and Broadsword Silver, which I think this is a really good use for these because of how thin they are, and they're like a one coat cover, so they're really nice for that. But yeah, this is just a little building. Printed MDF for a brief moment. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's plastic. This is the plastic GW kit, and it came in the newest starter that they have, the War the Rohirrim starter, and I got this from a tournament. I got to split the box with someone because I won the tournament, so I picked the Hill Tribesmen and then the buildings because I like having terrain. Demon Angel Wolf, welcome in. How are you guys doing? House is looking cool. Yeah, and I have an unpainted one. I primed it and zenithalled this one. This is the pre-paint step on this one. This one doesn't have any cool, like, gold on it. It'll just be like these little pieces right here. That'll be gold. But yeah, I have 2 of these little houses. I would love to have more of these. These kits are crazy expensive, though. Games Workshop sells this, and there's one, it's like 5 buildings, and they have like a wall and tower kit. And it's like 2 of the wall. It's like Palisade and Rohan Towers, like watchtowers, and it's like a $300 kit. Who's Thal and what did I do with them? What are you talking about? I don't know if I said something weird. Alright, are we ready? We're ready? I think we're ready to put these on. I said Zenithal. Zenentai. What's up, Spill Paint Pot? How you doing? Gotta go make dinner. Alright, Quishy. Hey, I hope your day is better, and I hope you can get through it, right? Sometimes you just gotta push on through and just do the things. New Perturabo art. Yeah. The Perturabo art is crazy. I can see him being about Defiler size. I think he'll be a similar size to the others. I think he might look crazy just because he's like in his Terminator armor with the servo arms and stuff, but he doesn't have wings. So it's the new drop pod or the old Nightmare. This is the new kit. Yep. Have my reasonings, but yeah, I didn't want to assemble that old horrible crotchety drop pod. So I did new kit, and I got 2 of them for just slightly more money than 1. Although I'm just painting 1 right now. Everybody coming down from those the Adepticon highs. Anybody go to Adepticon here? Putting a Land Raider kit's just bad. Yeah. You gotta do a lot of rubber bands. That's what you need for the Land Raider. Yes, I gotta recast one. Yeah. Clams a heat gun and multiple types of gluta. Oh man, that's wild. I had a Land Raider back in the day. I loved that Land Raider. It was so cool. I don't even remember it being like a horrible experience. I just remember loving that mini. It was like my biggest mini for a long time. Let's put in the new drop pod kit. Yeah, Tuvan. All right, this drop pod kit. I'm going to tell you this drop pod right here, 4 different pieces. That's it. I took a half hour to assemble both drop pods together. The most time you will spend is cleaning the fins. they're all identical pieces. So you get 10 pieces of these fins, and they're all piece number 4. That's it. Yeah, so piece number 4 are the 5 fins. Piece number 3 is this whole middle part. Piece number 1 and 2. 1 is this entire base piece where the fins slot in, and piece number 2 is, hold on, let me find it. It's this one little piece. You see that little seam there? This one little piece, that's piece number 2. So it's 1, 2, 3 in the middle, and then 4. There's a total of 8 pieces in the like 8 individual pieces, but it's 4 different pieces in the kit. What they also, and it's 2 of them spread between 3 sprues. One of the sprues is essentially a rock sprue, where the rocks, so these rocks are part of the thing. This is with no extras, this one. The other one, under here, it's angled. Right here. And there's a bunch of extra rocks that fit against this angle that stick out. So there's more. I can show you a little bit here. Here's my other one. So this one, I glued the extra rock bits, as you can see, all around. So these are the extra rock bits you see sticking on the doors there. But yeah, otherwise it's these ones aren't optional. So you have to have some kind of thing where it like hits the ground and has the rocks right. You could trim this away, honestly. You could. It takes a little bit of effort, but you kind of see underneath. Like you can do it. That would take a little bit of effort, but it's like terrain, you know, where it's almost like there's no detail on the bottom of it, because why would there be? That up, we got some transfers. We're gonna put our Mark Fit second coat on all this. Slowly building an Eldar army. Nice. 4 different pieces, and they're the same 2 kits, like the two drop pods. Incredibly simple. Their color schemes are always super nice and striking. Yeah, I do love Eldar. Yeah. That'd be fun, Quishy. Okay. Still doing more stuff. So stupid about things like that. Match my ruined Imperial City basing. So the mountain rocks. Nobody would just care for just. Yeah, it's a thing. You paint them like you just paint them like the ruined city, right? Because it could be like a street that you just hit and cratered, right, and just smashed into. Like that could be pavement. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm painting this to match my my board, so, which is really simple, and I need good. Leo, what's going on? You have an older one. Yeah, I chose deliberately not to get the older version. It's like the Heresy branded one now, just because I didn't want to deal with the hassle, and I got 2 drop pods. If I ever use 2 drop pods, I don't know, but just the fact that I have them is nice. Starlit Misfit, welcome in, everybody. Just trying to work on this thing. Sisters got their drop churches, yeah. A little dry brush in here. We'll see where we go from here after this, but Ooh, I don't like that already. I think I need to... You know what? No, that's what I need to do. Nope, 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 nope. We're going to change that. I'm not going to finish this many today. My goal is to finish this many today. It's not happening. They go for Chaos and 40k just in pure. Yeah, they think just Space Marines. Chaos can't get drop pods in standard play. I think Legacy they might have drop pods, like the Dreadclaws and the Charybdis and stuff, but... Okay. We're doing this a different way. So, I take this ivory and we're going to hit these pieces first and really make it like my my city streets here. Oh, Chaos one's 8 the inhabitants. Oh, that's great. Just a little random on them, but add some more color. We're gonna store these. I don't know. They fit in my new carry case. Holds them just fine. Because you can change the elevation on the little shells for that little Jukosi carry case. This is for my own right now. So I'm trying to finish this. This evening is the last day to turn in a bingo card at my local game store. And I'm kind of stretching it here because I have one more entry to paint for, and it's painting a monster. I don't have any monsters. So my goal is to show up to my local game store with this and be like, hey, this is the closest thing I have to a monster or a tank that I've painted. Like, can one of those count? And if they're like, yes, then I'd be like, cool, and like, here you go. But if it's a no, then I'm just kind of out of luck. So essentially, I'm trying to rush to paint this thing on the chance that I get another bingo entry filled in, which is by no means a guarantee at all. So... what's the bingo entry for? So my local store has a they made bingo cards and they gave them out to people at the beginning of the year, and it has entries for painting different models and for playing games, and everything you do they'll stamp it, and then when you turn it in they're going to draw a certain amount of names, and if you turn in a card you get an entry, and then every bingo that you get on the bingo card you get an entry into a gift card drawing. So, really gotta take my dog to get his haircut. Alright. Good luck, dude. Hopefully the meeting is productive and not horrible. Yeah, that's essentially it. So, I did not fill out... My goal initially was like, I'm going to fill out this entire bingo card. Well, I kind of screwed myself anyway because I wasn't playing any games that had any active leagues going, and one of the things is to play games in a league, and I was not playing any games in any league, so that kind of messed me up, and then I didn't play nearly as many games as I thought I would. So I had most of this filled out at the end of January, and then I guess life just got crazy. And I wasn't painting the types of models that I needed to fill out the rest of my card. So it will be horrible, yeah. Okay, here's some dark turquoise. All right, Zen. Have a good one. Not used to painting vehicles with bases. Posting corn dogs soon on the Discord? Of course you are, man. I have missed your mini shenanigans, Dundersnuff. Hey, Blue, what's going on? Local LGS doesn't have anything going, but the GW store has a model painting challenge. So you're painting the corn dogs for that? Is that models keep painting between January 1st and May 30th? Oh, it's that thing. Yeah. That's like a GW wide thing, right? And don't you you set the number in January and then you try to meet that goal? Isn't that how that one worked? I think I've painted more than 100 minis so far. Blood Bowl or Warhammer, yeah. This piece with this color, and we're going to move on to a different color. These pieces don't have to be perfect. Like, they can be a little messy, because they're going to cover with wash and dry brush and a lot of weathering powder. That'll really change up how they... end up looking. If your GW employee really cares. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there's some tile colors from this guy dropping. I like that blue on there. It'll all be muted down quite a bit, but let's continue on with some things. We're gonna do a little cheeky dry brush here. If I can get this thing in a state where I can spray it down with a satin varnish, at the end I'll be feeling really good. And I'll be able to take it. What you guys up to? Blue, how's work going? It's crazy seeing Iron Warriors getting so much attention. It gets weird to think, like, yeah, the kind of big four Chaos Legions have all gotten their, at least some things. Now they're turning their attention to the other Chaos Legions. Pretty wild. A little bit of gold here. Okay. Great. I think it's a good time to continue on with white. This is the one I think will take the longest. The drop pod to get one. Yeah, they're super easy to assemble. The new drop pod. It's a little more annoying to paint, but I think part of that is my particular color scheme, and has nothing to do with the drop pod itself. I mean, drop pods. I mean, you can see it how it's going to be annoying to paint anyway, so not like that's any big mysterious thing. I'm just gonna go one angle at a time here. Yeah, Red of 1,000 Steps. Yeah, no kidding. Ugh. You know, sometime, somewhat soon, or as a personal project goes, I'm going to be painting a lot of white. So that'll be cool. Stormtroopers. No, I'm actually, it is Star Wars, but it's gonna be rebels on Hoth. That's my goal. So, like, you know, the dudes in the trenches and like Tauntaun riders, and I have going to be getting a Princess Leia mini, or at least the goal is I have it ordered. So there's a Princess Leia that has like her Hoth like coat outfit on, and basically it's all set up with. So that's cool. But yeah, that's Tauntaun riders. If they call it Colt. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Greenleaf, what's going on? No, I'm not coming to your basketball game. You ask too much. I'll have to go back around. We'll get the other side of each of these panels after we got one more of these. Billy's dad will be my surrogate then. Okay. What's up, Hobby ADHD? How you doing? Yeah, there's a mini I'm looking at getting for Star Wars. I painted this mini years ago, and it was funny painting this mini. It was actually my most viewed stream of all time, and I was painting Luke Skywalker on May the 4th. And I remember I got rated really early by someone. I can't remember who it was. And I sat with like 120 viewers in my stream all day while I painted this mini on May the 4th, this Star Wars mini. But it was Luke Skywalker, and he had like his Rebel pilot outfit on. It was great. It's a really cool mini, but it's like a limited edition mini. And was painting it for someone else, someone local. I saw it's on eBay for like a decent price, but that would be a cool one. That'd definitely match my army theme. It'd be fun to have him paint again because he's wearing his orange like flight suit and everything. Yeah, always with the drop pod fun though. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to make painting easy on us. We're just going to turn it upside down. Alright, good. Fishing meal prep for the family. Nice. I'm painting some ultramarines. I love it, dude. Our family meal prep this week is pretty insane. But it's good. We're all kind of home this week, so it makes it a little easier to have something really good for meal prep. Okay, we got that first coat of bright neutral gray back on there. We need to get up top. So Sunday I made barbecue ribs, some baby back ribs. Yeah, made with a homemade barbecue sauce. Been great so far. Thank you, Wandering Picked. Welcome in. Trying to be quick with it. Don't know how possible that is, but we're doing pretty good. From a cycle to the beach. Nice. Trash guy maybe decide to go home early then. No. Sorry about that. First part, how do we do this? Lovely day. Yeah, it's warm out here, warm and sunny. Has been the past couple days. Very nice. Okay. There is our first coat. Real quick though, I'm going to put a bit of this brown wash over these panels here. Trying to work super efficiently. '60 Rhode Island, nice. Okay. Getting back to typical Florida weather. Yeah, no more snow or anything from you guys. Had a windstorm blow a whole bunch of shingles off our house. And I met with a company to fix it. They said they're booked out 8 to 10 weeks. Because we've had a lot of crazy windstorms, so it's kind of where we're at. We're going to be sitting with missing a bunch of siding on our house for the next however long. Okay, that got its wash. Now, 81, okay, alright. Let's get our white. Yeah, yeah. So our area's hit pretty hard. I knew it was going to be bad when I was checking the weather ahead of time. The particular day where it blew all the siding off our house, and you look at the hour by hour, and they'll show like a little symbol for like, yeah, it's partly cloudy or it's going to be a thunderstorm or whatever. But it showed a gust of wind, and I was like, I've never in my life seen that. Like they just know that this wind is going to be crazy enough that it's worth talking about over all of the other weather happening. And yeah, sure enough, it's like right as my son was getting home from school that day, it was just we just all sat in our dining room and just watched siding like blow off our house. And like, yeah, nothing we can do about it now. So I think it was a year ago today. Yeah, it was a year ago today. The house got hit by a tornado. So that was cool. Fortunately, it didn't damage our house, but it knocked over one of our trees into the middle of the street. What's up, my draws? Wonder where you were. It's like, man, something must be wrong if my draw isn't here. You know it's bad when they put up the icon. Yeah, the little and they show you. And lurking. Oh, okay, gotcha. Made dinner. All right, Quishy. Yeah, this time last year, a particular organization was removing funding from emergency weather services throughout the country. And one of those were taking people off of night shift for emergency weather warnings. So it was really nice when, we had the conditions for a tornado. We had a tornado forming that you could see on a weather radar, which I wasn't looking at the time because I was streaming, but there were no tornado sirens in my area. And so we got hit with a tornado and had no idea until about a week later when they confirmed it was actually a tornado that went through our neighborhood. Let's get blizzards that drop 3 feet of snow. It's like every 10 years. Yeah, and you get hurricanes. Yeah. Yeah, the thing about hurricanes is like you get time to prepare for a hurricane, right? Not that hurricanes aren't incredibly destructive and everything, but tornadoes kind of like they can come up out of nowhere. And especially if it happens at night, there's no way of seeing a tornado at night. And you're solely relying on weather services that are completely gutted by funding, by federal funding. And then when they don't do their job, or they can't do their job, you're kind of stuck. The tornado that passed over my son's room, who was still sleeping, and could have been much worse. So I am still very bitter about it, and I feel justifiably so. Things we get like a week of prep. Yeah. Yeah, it's justified. Hey, the Dadalorian, what's going on? I am painting a drop pod. for my Heresy Era Thousand Suns. That's what I'm doing. We're trying to paint it pretty quick. Still going through my usual steps here. And complaining about the weather, as we should be. No, it's not the Whirlwind drop pod, not the cool missile one. This is the newer model. It actually doesn't have a gun on it, but I'm going to use it for my 30k army. Yeah, I honestly, Tuvon, I would not blame my town. I don't live in a very big town. I don't think they have anything to do with the weather service. Yeah, drop pods are in 30k. Yep. They used to have rules, and I'm sure they'll bring these back at some point, but for just like drop pod armies. Just a way to put your entire army in drop pods and drop them. The current rules for 3rd edition, you can't bring that many drop pods in over the course of a game, but the drop pod assault army in 2nd edition was, I think you just drop everybody in on the first turn. Steep strike on my Grey Knights in 5th. Yeah. Grey Knights in 5th. Ugh. Don't get me started on Grey Knights in 5th edition. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Demons get something else. I think they will. I think they will. At this point, you know, for a while it was like GW just going to drop them. But demons are popular enough. I think GW's backtracking. No, horrible bad. Yeah. Man, I hated Grey Knights in 5th edition. Everybody loved him though. That codex came out, and that had to have been one of the most popular armies in 5th edition. But no, so I got Dark Eldar when they came out in 5th. They got their big revamp. And what's up, Frankie Fingers? It's also hyped about it. One of the things about Dark Eldar in 5th edition is they were a really good counter to Space Marines. They had a lot of good power weapons and a high initiative, and those were like good things. Well, Grey Knights come around, and everything Grey Knights did countered everything Dark Eldar did. So like you just get your free power weapons, and you could just give yourself the halberd, and they were just initiative 6. So they just out initiative all my Dark Eldar. And then, you know, you had power weapons and lots of attacks and tons of shots on all your weapons, and your anti-tank was like medium strength and multiple shots, which are like what you need to blow up Dark Eldar vehicles. And yeah, it was just all kinds of stuff like that. So, and most of my friends bought into Grey Knights when they came out, so I was stuck playing against Grey Knights so much, and I hated it. Yeah, the psychic flamers and the crazy jump infantry they would get, like just all of it, all that kind of stuff. Still a bit salty about Grey Knights. I was on. You're the only one in your area that played them. Oh wow, okay, dang. 5th edition, nonetheless. Yeah. Man, it felt like everybody was just buying them because it's an easy army to buy. They had Terminators, they had Power Armor Marines, and then they had the Nemesis Dread Knight, and those were like their 3 kits. And you could make, which they're still kind of like this, right? You can make as many point army as you want with just those 3 kits, and it worked out really well. So you'd be interested in Grand to update the models. Yeah. That's fair. I'm gonna do one more. I think one more coat of white. There's only 2 people in my area that play Nids. Hey, John Lockridge, what's going on? Didn't get to talk about the reveals. Yeah, we can talk. You guys want to talk more about the reveals? Did you guys see the Perturabo artwork they showed off this morning? Pretty wild. The banging is my son and his friend. Perturabo looks really cool. Nids are crazy popular, yeah. I don't follow 40k groups around me anymore, so I don't know what's popular and what's not. I do know we have a dude that plays demons, and he's like he's really good, but he is also super unfriendly, and I don't think people really enjoy playing against him. So, but he goes to lots of different events. He's been on that like War Games live stream and everything with his demons. Stream time, A+ on the vehicles. Yeah, Commissar Graves half track is pretty. I don't like Commissar Graves. That was the disappointing part of the Astra Militarum reveal. But the other 2 vehicles are really cool looking. So I like those. Yeah, Age of Sigmar stuff is fine. I know people love the Cog Fort. Games Workshop is going to do the thing though, so watch, guys. Watch out. If you don't play Cities of Sigmar and you want a Cog Fort, just be ready for the rug pull, where the next edition of Sigmar, the Cog Fort won't be available for other factions. Because right now they're available for all the other factions, but they won't be. As long as you're aware of that possibility and just want the model because it's cool. You want a Cog Fort? Yeah. Play Dark Eldar Nids in 5th. Yeah. That was an unfair matchup, though. Tyranids versus Dark Eldar. It was so one-sided. Dark Eldar just have all the counters to Nids, so it probably feels like I felt like playing against Grey Knights. Playing Nids against my Dark Eldar. Guard stuff, there's room to like some. That's fair. It's fair, Frankie Fingers, yeah. Okay, I gotta ask this question, because I asked this on Sunday night. Who here is excited for 11th edition? So I remember when 10th edition was announced, I was streaming. And I remember the like palpable excitement from the community at large for 10th edition. And with 11th edition, I do not see that overall. it seems like people are much more cautious about it. And I have my own opinions, and those are just my opinions, but that's just kind of the vibe I've gotten from like reading and looking around and everything. So I don't know how accurate that is. More curious and excited, yeah. The game with 10th is my first edition change. Okay, yeah. Skeptical, neutral about it. Anthony's excited for it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm not terribly excited. There's one change in the rules, maybe like two changes in the rules that I like in theory, but from what I've seen from Games Workshop, I don't think they're going to do it well. And the one is terrain as objectives. And they showed in the preview, they're like, no more circles, look. And then they just show squares. And it's like, look, there's rectangles on the ground, no more circles as objectives. I don't like that. If they actually manage to make it like, here's a building that you bring when you play this specific objective, and you play it like, okay, I can see that. That'll be cool. But just putting rectangles on the ground is super lame. And if that's how they end up being, it's going to be super lame. The other thing, I think the multiple detachments... I don't like the multiple detachments, honestly. I don't think I like the detachment system anyway, at the end of the day. But the thing I like the potential of is matchups based on the style of armies fighting against each other. Like, the mission is based on the two armies fighting. I think that could be really cool. So hopefully it's not like, it doesn't just lock people into playing the same two missions every game, because that would be kind of lame. And I think that's a fear. Where I think they've talked about that there's the rumor is there's like 5 different missions or something at this point. And yeah, and that's just kind of how it works. So I don't know. John Lockridge, he said Wazdaka Gutsmack A+. I didn't like his mini too much. Guard is a C. Red Terror is the best tiered model currently made. He said 11th edition trailer B- was fine. Space Marine model B-. Basic dude, yeah. Orcs B+. Yeah. I don't like the Orc boys having all the weapons. That's another thing I don't like. I think it's lazy. And sure, it solves a problem that they've had with the crappy Orc kit they made, but it doesn't actually solve the problem that I think was a problem. It's just super lazy. And it's more of that, like, let's take character out of the game kind of thing that I do not like. I thought of secondaries based on detachments kind of nice. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. That was similar to 9th, right? Where your army determined your secondaries. And that could be nice, but then again, I can see that being one of those like hyper-inflated, like way too many rules to remember, because you have to remember all your opponent's secondaries and blah blah blah, that whole thing. So we'll see. Current problem with detachments is that it forces you into a box in terms of what you take and what works with their detachment. Yeah. And Anthony, I agree with you on the first part. So yeah, having rules associated with detachments, like, obviously every army, having different army rules is fine, but having some, like, the detachment rules are typically so specific that you very much are like shoehorned. And I think the solution of having more detachments potentially more detachments in your army, I think that's like a band-aid on the issue. I don't think it actually fixes the problem. Because the problem is having rules so heavily associated with units in the detachment. Like, if they put like more generic thematic rules in, or, you know, I know 40k players probably hate this, but having like more set units, so like more of a set force organization chart or something, and then not having rules of the detachment, or just like, yeah, I don't, yeah, I think having rules with detachments is a bad idea. Having such a strong focus on the detachment rules is a bad idea. And I think it limits creativity instead of expanding on it. Seal models valid in game by saying it counts all weapons, old orc boys, yeah. Yeah, I did see, yeah, we were talking about the Perturabo artwork today, his article and everything. It's really cool. Yeah, I understand the idea about the orc boys, but just giving them both weapons to me just seems... Oh, it just seems so... It's like such a shoo-in, like last minute. Opening the box. Is there a subset of players who find combos to break the game? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. You know, when they talked about having multiple detachments, and we were talking about this, we were doing the Patreon hangout, we were watching this stream, my very first thought was, it's going to be like 7th. Like the 7th edition detachments and allies and stuff, where their like theme is out the window. You know, they talk about, oh, you can bring your Ravenwing Bikers and your Deathwing Terminators. Like, cool. But it's not going to be that's good. You know, it's going to be goofy shenanigans that don't make any sense from, like, a thematic standpoint. But you just soup all these different things to do because you have, like, these 4 units that are good. And then they're better with their respective detachment. And then people just cling to that. And you're just shoehorned more into the rules, right? Into the detachments and into the specific units. When was army rules that make me feel like an army? Yeah, not not army rules that change every 30 minutes. It's on availability of deals. I want to push my soldiers on the table with a resemblance of balance. Yeah. So something I say is, in that respect, a positive toward the way you build armies in Heresy. Heresy has no requirements for units. So there's no, like, minimum 2 troops or whatever. The closest thing to a requirement you have is that you need HQ units, commanders basically, to unlock more detachments. But the detachments themselves don't add rules, or very few of them add rules to the game. So there's... It's basically like you have a commander, the commander commands a detachment, and then that detachment is opens up specific units that you can take, like unit types. And there's like 12 different unit types. And they add new detachments in the game through the journals and stuff, and the detachments are, again, they don't add rules that make those units better. It's just different combinations of units that are unlocked. So you can make an army as thematic as you want, but it's not like you're getting shoehorned into specific things because certain rules are better with a detachment. and I really like that. And then there's there's detachments that are specific to legions or armies and everything that are very good. And it's funny because they're good because of the availability they offer, of the availability of units that they offer. It's not that they add a bunch of extra rules that make them good. And I like that a lot. And if you happen to be really efficient with your army building, you can have few commanders if you want, and lots of the units that you might want. You can do total like armor focused armies, and that's cool. Like there's ways to do it. That's really nice. Great job pulling back the broken things they needed to. Yeah. Yeah, GW has gotten a lot better with balancing. Yeah, mind you, although like do what you want with your units is fine. I think it's going to see a problem in 11th if the separate detachments are allowed to be different armies. That's a big deal that might make things difficult. Because then what you're doing is you're just souping in armies that are... You're just picking the best units with the best detachments from different armies and just combining them into one. And then it's just nonsense. I think something GW is still not good at, or have done a very poor job in 40k. I can't speak to Age of Sigmar, but is balancing individual units. Hey, Thoralf? What's going on? Why can't I pronounce that? Thoralf. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. But yeah, I feel like GW has done a very poor job of balancing individual units, where like internal codex balances in just about every codex in 10th is terrible. Like there are very clear units you want to bring, or units you should bring, and units you shouldn't bring. And I don't know, are there any armies that aren't like that? They're like, man, you can bring all this stuff and it's all pretty good. I don't think there's anything out there like that. But it's, they have 3 years and they do corrections every 3 months. And, the majority of the chaos, or the majority of the Space Marine Codex, like, we all see it, where the majority of it doesn't get touched at all through the whole edition. There's no, like, there are units that I like, man, it'd be cool if these units were any good to run, and then like they literally have gone 3 years without a change, and that's like all there is. And it's like but Space Marines are good, so they don't need a change. But it's like, well, I haven't got a chance to use like the cool units that I want to use, because GW won't like balance codexes internally. And maybe they just need a bigger team working on that or something, but yeah, they're useless. Yeah, same goes for like weapons on individual units. Gotta follow Stillmania. What's that? But like, why would a sergeant ever bring a bolt pistol when he can have a plasma pistol for free? about months apart and were a little more meaningful. Yeah. It's funny too, like, I don't know, if it seems like there are units that people bring, and those units get attention every 3 months. Like, they're always getting adjusted and tweaked and, you know, buffed and nerfed and all this stuff. Then there are units that people don't bring because they're bad, and then they see nothing the whole edition, and so then they just, like, nobody bothers. And, like, it would be nice if, like, everything kind of got a pass every once in a while, so there was a way to you know, put some different minis on the table. Drop pause. What's up, Veritech? How you doing? Alright. Trying to work on this thing. Link Stillmania. Is Nigel Stillman's approach was Irish way? Yeah, sure. Post it up. Yeah, okay, yep. Could you imagine GW promoting this idea today of write down your 2,000 point army and never change it again, never add anything, even in big games, just bring your 2,000 point army and see how they do? Yeah. I love this though. I like to think that I try to follow this spirit in a way when I play games where I don't like bringing super strong army lists. I like my wins to be from like from my decisions, right? So if I'm bringing stuff that's like super broken and powerful, then like it takes away my win from playing the game. I get it, Stillman. Yeah, exactly, Frankie. Yeah, you want your cool looking minis to get some time, right? They deserve it. Chillin'? Working mornings this week instead of evenings. Okay. It's a little easier on you. So I want to show you guys eventually my 3D printer. I'm going to have a little setup. There's going to be a little screen and, you know, picture-in-picture of the print going, but I'm currently out of resin. I don't have the resin, and my resin's on its way, but they delayed the shipment until next week. Possibly, we'll see. We'll see if it comes in earlier, but First ever win last week was teaming up with a notorious cheater in a 2v2. I see how it is, Wandering Picked, That's really funny, though. Oh, the cheater was on the other team? No. Oh, teaming up. No, Wandering Pick teamed up with the cheater. That's funny. Yeah, you're playing against someone and you both just decide to be on the same team in the middle of the game. Like, cool, we both won. It's like Monopoly, you know? You guys ever play Monopoly? Monopoly has a very interesting lesson built into it, which is everybody can win, or at least nobody will ever lose, and everybody will make money. Make lots of money and live prosperously if nobody buys property. No one buys any property, you'll just run around the board, collect your $200 from Go every turn, and very rarely hit anything bad. You guys knew this, but Monopoly is a very anti-capitalist game. This past weekend, my family got me Wingspan for my birthday. We got to play it. The game is really cool. Yeah, it's a very pretty game. I will say the base game has 170 different birds, and they're all all of them live in North America, at least living in North America. So there's some birds are all over the world. There's some that are North America, South America. There's some North America, Europe, but all of them are North America. So I imagine there are expansions where there are birds from other places in the world. But there are a ton. We maybe saw in our first playthrough 35 different birds, maybe. So there is a huge replayability factor for that if you like, nature and stuff. Wormspan? Yeah, Wormspan looked really cool too. That was something we'd been looking at. Dragons. Stripping a storm surge and an ultrasonic cleaner. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a project. Okay. Next thing we are doing. I believe it's time to get a smaller brush. Put some of this other paint up here. Got lots of paint sitting around. Hey, Jaded Valkyrie, what's going on? The same with a Shadow Sword. Ooh. All right, one fin at a time. This is my moment where I'm like, is this going to take way too long? Waking up from hibernation? Oh no. Pod's looking great. Thank you. Thank you. Just doing this 10 times. You're at Adepticon? Were you at Adepticon? Jaded? We had some people at Adepticon in the local community. Can't remember who all went. We're to hang out, but not in the... Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay. Yep. That makes sense. I'm gonna make some dinner. All right, Wandering Pig. Have a good one. Great to see you. Pretty good for that side, I think it is. Let's get these. slowly rotate this. Get this side. Get the bolts. And that's one fin down. 4 more. Blind, but do you have a commission page somewhere? It's just via Discord. If people contact me through Discord, I used to do commissions through Fiverr, and I shut that down because Fiverr is a terrible website. So, and they were trying to screw me out of money basically. So, yeah, I dropped them. No, you're not blind. Start with Fiverr. Yeah, it was more like they had requirements of like you can become a certain level seller when you sell so many things. So Fiverr is meant to be like, I'll make an emote for you, you know, $5. I'll spend 10 minutes on it and you're done, you know. I got into commission painting, and Fiverr was like a place I had known was a place to like get going with commissions, so I got on there. And they have kind of rules about like how long it takes to get paid from them, because the buyers basically pay Fiverr when the job starts, and then when the job's complete, you know, everything gets marked complete, and then Fiverr pays me after like 2 weeks. So, you know, that's kind of the thing. And then like if you have a number of completed sales, you kind of get upgraded, and you're like in good standing with good rating and everything. You get your seller rating upgraded, and you get paid sooner, and they spend time like promoting you, and like you get like more promotions out of it and stuff. So like there's incentive to you know, to do a lot of jobs via Fiverr. Well, I had worked, and doing commission work, you don't get your seller level up very fast, because your projects take a long time, and like, I'm doing projects for hundreds and hundreds of dollars at a time, but I'm only doing, I was doing quite a few, but it was like a couple per month, basically, maybe 4 per month or so. Thank you, Culture American. So what happened was I hit my goal of upgrading my seller level, and I knew it was coming because it's pretty easy to predict. I was like, yeah, I got one more, and so I'm doing this job, and I'm going to complete it, get my seller level up, it'll be great. Well, right as I finished the job, and my seller level should have been upgraded when I finished the job. Well, right as I was finishing it, they changed their terms of service for sellers. And it basically reset everybody's seller level unless you had made it to the particular seller level that like the one I was trying to get to. And so they reset it, and I messaged them and said, hey, I should be up a level. Like, I completed everything. My rating was perfect. I had a perfect 5-star rating. There were no issues. I did the amount of jobs that upgrade my seller level, and I think this isn't right that I go back to a new seller when all of these other people are are getting upgrades just from the start. And it's been years at this point, but it was something like that. The message I sent them, hey, can I have can someone look at my account and review that I did this stuff, and can you guys give me, because it literally took me years to get that seller level, years, because of the nature of the work that I do. And my thing was I have made Fiverr thousands of dollars from the money they've taken from my commissions or whatever, and the cut that they got and everything. And I got a message back a few days later, and it essentially said, hey, if you work hard, and you're diligent, you can get your seller level up really quick. I was like, all right, I'm done. And I canceled my account, and I was like, this was way too much. This is ridiculous. Yeah, they didn't even it wasn't even a real person messaging me or whatever. It was just, you better weapon with the upgrade. No, I got paid faster, and my name got put higher than others. Yeah, there were some other different things I don't remember at this point, because I haven't done that in years. But yeah, there were things that should have happened, and they're just yeah, you're diligent. Go get there quick, buddy. I believe in you. It'll only take you another 2 years. No, I didn't get full tips. No, Fiverr didn't give full tips. They would take a cut out of tips, because what people were doing, they were abusing it. Where, so Fiverr would take 20%. And what would happen was someone would say, hey, I will charge you $5 for this, but if you give me a $20 tip, we'll make it cheaper. So people were skirting giving Fiverr their cut. And so Fiverr they quote unquote had to change it, where they took 20% of tips as well. So, crummy website. Don't use Fiverr, guys. Yep. No, they take tips. I mean, tips are appreciated. It's still more money you're giving whatever creator doing stuff, but Is Upwork another site? I've never heard of Upwork. Right. Doesn't that feel good buying something on Fiverr and you give the artist a tip and you're still paying Fiverr? It's great, right? What's crazy too about Fiverr is they charge a fee for the buyer and the seller. So if you've bought anything on Fiverr, you paid for a service on Fiverr, you pay a fee. You know, the person's like, oh yeah, it's $50 for this, and you'll pay like 60 or 65. So Fiverr is making money on everybody. Security nobody cares for. What? Security plus channel on YouTube. How you doing? What's going on? You a big fan of Pokemon? Is that it? That's cool, man. My son loves Pokemon. I used to love Pokemon back in like first gen day. Fun stuff. That's death. What did you think of the 11th announcement? Yeah, we've been talking about it. It's I don't particularly care for it. Yeah, I don't like the minis they've shown have looked pretty cool, but I don't even know if I'm gonna get that set. I'm gonna keep an eye on the rules and like the announcements and leaks and stuff, but it doesn't seem like amazing to me, so I don't know. How do you feel about it, Culture American? I think there was a kid that just jumped in YouTube to say cuss words at me, so I had to block him real quick. Always YouTube, man. Always YouTube. I know how everything's going. It's going well. Just trying to get this mini finished here. Objective scoring going to work without yeah, you're going to be standing in squares. That's what you're going to be doing, Cultured American. What I've gathered from their announcement. Now, that's one of the potential better things about the rules that I've seen, are the new the way you score objectives. But no, I don't even know. I'm not even like I didn't particularly care for 10th edition. So I'm not even like really excited about this edition change. Honestly, I'm more excited about Mandalorians coming as a big faction to Star Wars Legion than 11th edition. Concept art for something with an artist on Fiverr. Give 100% tip. Yeah, they took 20% of that. Yeah. Screw Fiverr. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry you had to learn the hard way. At least you weren't trying to sell anything. Yeah, I remember the first time someone gave me a tip. I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then, then Fiverr took 20% of it. Fiverr is like a gig website. So you find like independent artists and stuff and on Fiverr, and then, the idea is you pay them to do something. So make an emote or do digital art, or I did commission painting on Fiverr. You pay people to make AI art is what it really is now? Probably, yeah. It was the whole like digital sphere of that website was pretty rough when I was involved with it. So yeah, I bet it's gotten so much worse. 2 more of these to do. Elchorn, how you doing? Close to finishing the Gash commission. Nice. It was looking great. I think you showed off a couple weeks ago. Is that right? I remember seeing a painted Nagash on Discord. I'm excited for the 11th edition box. You play Blood Angels and Dark Blades Orcs. Well, that's solid. Yeah, that works because you get like maximum value out of that set, which is great. And I know the Marines are going to be generic Marines. It's not going to be like Blood Angels specific sculpts, which is good. And Jump Pack Chaplain is cool. I had the old metal Jump Pack Chaplain as one of my favorite minis. Yeah, I don't play orcs, and I don't think I'm going to be playing much 11th edition. You guys missed it in YouTube. Totally use 11th edition box turn Total War into a tabletop game. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was a kid that jumped in on YouTube and they're like, Warhammer sucks and you suck, and then they're just like saying random curse words, and like Pokemon TCG is where it's at. And then they're just like, stop talking about Warhammer. And I was like, hey, friend. Just blocked. I learned all these fun curse words and can't wait to try them out. Yeah. Because, yeah, I want them invading my streams as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, man, comments on YouTube, it's typically about a 10% chance I'm just going to outright ban the person after a few minutes, so... So just as a reminder, I will not be streaming tomorrow, but I will be streaming on Thursday. And this is it's my family's spring break this week, so everything just kind of all out of whack. Hangout happening? The hangout will happen, yeah. It might be a little shorter. I might jump on later or something, but yeah, I still want to do the hangout tomorrow. Patreon and those special privileges. Your family spring break was last week, yeah. Yeah, it's my wife teaches in a different school district my son attends, but not always they get spring break that lines up, so it's nice it did this year. Okay, one more. One more, all right. Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, one more. We'll say I feel like I've made really good time on this. There's still quite a bit to do. But as far as the simple stuff goes, it's going really well. Just the last half, basically. Got some battle damage on this thing we have to figure out. My painter's tape pulled off the paint. Did exactly what it wasn't supposed to do. Okay. I think we got a red highlighted. Yeah, it seems to happen to me more often than not. Next. Little light bronze here. I rarely tape minis because it feels like every time I tape them, it rips off. I'm back in square one, but I didn't feel like being back in square one with this, so I had the good idea of just making it battle damage. I think that's fair. Tried masking putty. I have tried masking putty and did not like it, honestly. I'm sure that there's like a whole like skill technique to learn to get it to really work and be able to be precise with it, but I was not able to do that. Masking just seems like a recipe for a disaster. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I varnished everything. I feel like I did everything right, and then it was still just didn't work out. It still peeled. Okay. I'm gonna take some silver. Start with the painter's tape is too good at sticking to all the paint, Let's try. Big brush of silver. If I can get this in a functional state of being done and then come back and do some finishing touches like little lighting things and probably be ideal. I finish this, do a bit of the weathering and then varnish it and call it done. That might be good enough. Take to the LGS as a finished mini. You've missed the lo-fi background noise. Good. I'm glad you're back. Glad you're here to enjoy it. I've only done this a couple times, but if I'm ever on like a serious like time crunch and I need to paint stuff like outside of stream and gotta get things done, it's like, you know, final evening of doing something, I will totally turn on lo-fi hip-hop beats while I paint on my own. And you know, you'd think I'd be completely sick of it after listening to it, you know, 15-20 hours a week or whatever it is that I listen to this playlist, just having it in the background, but it helps motivate me though, because there's like nothing to pay attention to with this playlist, right? It's just literally is just background music. You ever try what? A body doubling type stream? I mean, finding a body double to stream for me, or what? Work has a mandatory fun day. I'm sorry about that. That sounds terrible, but that's okay. I get it. You come to the hangout on Wednesday, tomorrow night, Dunder? We've had some new faces join us. River Lab, you'd had a good time. Okay, okay. Extensive, just focused work with other people. Oh yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the ADHD thing. You know, I don't like deliberately do that anymore, but I did learn as a kid and as someone, you know, as an adult who was diagnosed with ADHD, but as a kid I didn't know it. But I always found I was way more productive when I was hanging out with a friend or something. I used to go to a friend's house as a teenager, and we just do like painting days. We turn on Lord of the Rings all day. We just have like an all day marathon, We'd sit in his living room, and he had little like TV dinner tables, you know, like little trays for the living room. We'd set those out, and we'd literally just paint minis all day while watching the movie, and get so much done. Yeah. Yeah, Zed did used to stream with me on Fridays. I do that occasionally. I'll get in bits from like, man, I should stream way more, and then I stream way more, and then I get super burnt out and don't want to stream anymore. So I gotta watch myself with my streaming. Okay, now I am going to get some black brown. You don't need a lot, just a little. Kind of. It's here. Tasks, set the environment to be productive. Yeah. They don't chat for like 20 minutes and just work and take a 5-minute break. Yeah. Dang. Yeah, it's solid. Oh, that's really cool. Between that, I'm not busy. Yeah, no, and you're typing out chat and everything, so it's even more different. My sponges. I think this will work. A little bit of random brown around here. Some of these. Actually impressed I got as much done as I did today. This is really nice. Thank you guys for keeping me company. Been a big help. Go have time to varnish this and throw some weathering powder on it, and I'll head up to the LGS tonight and try to convince them that this is a monster. Totally not a mechanical machine. Thank you, thank you. It always helps paint things here too nice. That's what it's all about. The entire goal from the beginning. Transfers, yeah. I think weathering powder is what we need on this. So we'll varnish it. I'll satin varnish it. I'll need some matte varnish over these pieces here and the white fins. Then it's weathering powder, and the thing is done. And that'll cover up a lot of the dumb bleed through from the stupid red paint that I have. But looks cool. Got a drop pod. I have 1,000 suns sitting near me that can take some photos with it, but that's what we got. If I have time tomorrow, I want to try and adjust some camera settings. I'm not happy with the lighting on the camera, so it's been like that for a while, but I think it's time to mess with that a little bit. So we'll see if I can get that done. But there will be a hangout tomorrow. There's no stream tomorrow, so yeah, don't be looking for a stream at 11 o'clock. Not gonna happen tomorrow. But Thursday I'll be streaming. Tomorrow evening, probably between 8:30 and 9, maybe a little later. Tomorrow evening I'll be doing starting the hangout, or I will be joining the hangout. Anybody wants to go there earlier, that's totally fine. But that's the plan. So still look just in case. That's fair. Yeah. You don't want to miss out on any kind of watch stream streak or whatever you got going on. But you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna get going with this thing. Try to get it varnished real quick and continue on turning for this hobby bingo. See if I can't figure everything out. But you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, and I will see you all on Thursday. Bye, everybody.